We broadcast live here on Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place YouTube channel throughout social media. We're going to get you out here well before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. And that's what we do here on the drive-thru, Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We serve our live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show with us for today. All right, with us, we got Chris Ruffolo with us. Big Al McMorty. It's Wednesdays with Mitch. Dana Lane will sign at bottom of the hour. Rod Zawacki and Wayne Scott. Here's how they'll line up for this evening. We got Ruffolo, Mitch, McMorty, Scott, Zawacki, Lane, and then I will close this one out. All right, limited action today from Major League Baseball up on the board. So let's get this one underway. Let's welcome in Chris Ruffolo. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs. Hope you catch the morning shows here Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We got Chris, we got Jay, and of course we got Mitch running that morning show, you guys. So make sure you tune in as well. We'll find out a little bit more about Chris's video series as well later in the segment. We'll bring in Chris right now. Chris, what's happening?
Tony, just enjoying the afternoon baseball. How are you doing?
Doing well. And tonight we're looking at the team that's not doing well. That's these Yankees against these Nationals. We've known for a while these Nationals have been really good as a big dog roll. The public now is on with them. They run a little bit of a win streak. Yankees going the other way. Yankees favored here minus 145, and we see the total coming here at 8.5.
Yeah, and this line has been all over the place. We've seen the Yankees as high as minus 165, and it's just I've still had a hard time getting there, even with the Washington Nationals on the other side. I mean, the New York Yankees, their first 9-game losing streak, I think I read since 1992 or maybe even earlier than that. 82. And see, I'm off by a decade, but that's okay. But it's this is the latest in the season. They've been under 500 in well over 30 years. So this is just not a good spot for the Yankees. I do not want anything to do with this team. Now, yes, Mackenzie Gore on the other side. The Yankees, best in baseball in the month of August in terms of team OPS and isolated power against left-handed pitching. But it's only a sample size of 100, just over 100 plate appearances. It's the least amount of plate appearances against lefties in baseball in that time span. So I think it's a little bit of an inflated sample size there. I think Mackenzie Gore is going to be good enough in this start. Luis Severino's been dreadful his last 5 starts, in ERA over 11. And sometimes it's as simple as not wanting to lay minus 145, minus 150 and up with a Yankees team that's lost 9 in a row. I think Aaron Boone's head is going to be on the chopping block by the end of the season. I think Brian Cashman could be out as well. And I think this is just the latest domino to fall. I'm going to go with the Washington Nationals in this one.
All right, we got Chris here going to hit and take these Nationals here at the plus price again, plus 133, plus 134. Do your line shopping. Get the best numbers if you can. That's the only way you're going to win in betting sports is to shop the lines and get the best numbers. And also, as make sure you can try to find some value in the line, and I think you can here in this spot here. As well as one thing to note here is the Nationals, the bats have come alive. Before they were just hitting lefties, now they're hitting both sides here. And of course, as you mentioned here, the bats here for the Yankees have been dreadful. You look over their past 7, just $1.92, averaging less than 3 runs a game, and it's the Nationals that are hitting the ball well.
Yeah, it's actually the Nationals that also have a pretty good bullpen as well. I mean, the Yankees, the strength for the Yankees out of the pitching staff was the bullpen for a long time, but I think now the Washington Nationals have one of the better bullpens in baseball in the month. So right now it's just everything's coming up on the right side for the Nationals. And as a Blue Jays fan, I can tell you nothing puts a smile on my face like watching the Yankees struggle. So the fandom aside, though, I couldn't even get to this price with the Yankees on it at the best of times. So yeah, Nationals for me here.
Yeah, Nationals here for Chris. Nationals and the Yankees have a start time here, top of the hour. All right, Chris, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs for tonight's action. Chris showing good results over the past 7 days, as well as a good NFL season last year. But right now, all sports combined, we got Chris at 564 units of profit. That's all documented over at Pick Dogs. So verify those numbers by going over to Chris's handicapper page. You'll see them all there. All right, Chris, limited schedule today, about 7 on the board for Major League Baseball. What do you have going on over the site?
I'll tell you, I'm waiting on this Phillies result, hoping the Phillies can pull through late, but if not, that's fine. We still got lots of action tonight. Got my $19 pickoff play. Also have another play on the board that's right now only if you have a long-term subscription. So that's the way to go. You can see, like Tony said, last 7 days have been doing well. Football season right around the corner. Week 0 is later this week. We got NFL opening week in a couple weeks. So this is the time to hop on long-term, whether it's weeks, 30 days, 3 days, a year. it's the best value over at Pick Dogs.
As Chris said, get on board with Chris Ruffolo over at Pick Dogs Premium. Long-term pass will serve you well. The 7-day pass gets you all of Chris's plays here. Week 0 college football, the remainder of Week 3, all of Week 3 preseason, as well as all the baseball. Get on board with the long-term passes, your best value. Remember, the promo code PICK at checkout will save you that 15% off. All right, Chris, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that great success. We'll catch up with you next week. But again, we can catch up with you here on the weekdays. So you co-host the morning show, and of course your video series with those home run props.
Yeah, we've been doing well with the home run props. We've had a lot of winners in the last few days, so that's definitely something you want to check out. The home run prop market. It's not for everybody, but if it's something that you like betting on to have some side action on for a couple bucks, hey, it's definitely worth checking out. And player props in general, and it just highlights how great the betting tools at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place are. So yeah, check them out. And love what I'm doing. The daily videos, the morning show, having a great time doing it, and gonna keep doing it in the future. Got lots more on the horizon.
Lots more on the horizon as we had another sport here with college football this week. 7 on the board here from Week 0. Interesting matchups indeed. All right, Chris, have a great night. We'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds good, Tony. By the way, I got to mention to you, Mitch was messaging me. He's having some problems behind the scenes, so he just told me to message you about the password.
Okay, behind the scenes issue. I did think I just saw him sign in right now. I think he's okay.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, he did. All right.
Then ignore me. We're all good.
All right, we're good. All right, Chris. Have a great night. Chris Ruffolo here on the drive-thru. All right, let's continue. When I can see everyone's screen here, Mitch gave me the thumbs up. He's good to go, so let's go ahead and bring him in right now. Catch Mitch over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, you tune in those morning shows. Very good lineup of there in the morning, so you guys want to tune in. I'll bring him in right now. Mitch, what's happening?
Panic button there for me. I changed computers. I got a new computer, and it didn't carry over. Like, my password was one of those auto passwords, it auto filled. So it was like I didn't know what my password was. So you know how it is these days. Like, everyone has so many passwords. It's like,
yeah. Yep. Well, good thing I put it in the email now, so hopefully you're able to retrieve it there.
I didn't even think about that. Oh, man.
It's all right. For next time, for everybody out there in the cappers, know that, well, just for next time, those numbers you see after that off our list. But tonight we got a divisional action here with Blue Jays at Orioles. The Blue Jays favorite here, -131. We see that total 8.5.
Yeah, we've seen this from the Orioles a lot this season, where they lose the first 2 games of the series and then bounce back and win the next 2 games. And I just think that's exactly what we're looking at here. When teams start moving their pitchers around, forced games after they have them set with no injuries and no rest or anything like that really having anything to do with it, they just like the specific matchup, and that's what the Orioles did here. So you got to believe that the Orioles, somebody knows something. Now, most people, that have watched me on shows or, haven't ever seen anything, know that I see Kevin Gausman's name, I take the other team. I don't even think twice. I see Zach Wheeler, I take the other team. I see Kevin Gausman, I take the other team. There's no better value in baseball than betting against Kevin Gausman and Zach Wheeler. It is straight money. This season, these guys have been -180 favorites and more and lost several times over. The thing of this one is they're trying to bait you in on Gausman on a light. It's the books are begging for Gausman action. So all the squares, all the suckers riding in here on the Blue Jays, but we're not one of them. We're going to take the first place, best record in the American League, Baltimore Orioles as at home in this one. And that's going to be my play.
All right.
I'm going to take them on the run line.
Alternate run line. We saw the
alternate as well.
Yeah, alternate run line. You put in -1.5, so you get that +230 as the Orioles are dogs in this game. So you're looking for the Orioles here to win by 2.
I also like the first 5 innings, the Orioles and the Yerfie.
There you go. More action there here from Mitch. I was watching Billy Walters has a book coming out, Mitch, and you always see that the obvious choice here is to get the best number. But one thing he always says that what differentiates bettors is being able to find value in the line.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it for me, and the way that I bet. And I know that the last year and a half have probably been last year and a half has probably been my worst year and a half as a professional handicapper. Not necessarily my overall betting winnings and losses, but really my handicapping picks that I've given out as far as my premium picks, selecting which ones were the best ones on the board and giving those out as my premium picks. what I've done is I've gone back and I went and I looked at the way that I used to do things, and I looked at those picks of the year and a half. I didn't just sit there and say, "Oh man, I'm just gonna stick in whatever I'm doing," because we have a lot else going on, and sometimes you got to just shake it up and take a look and say, you know what, this isn't working. I'm not going to sit here and just take this beating every night. So I went back and I looked at the way I used to do things, and I'll tell you what, man, I used to have, I started to play to not lose, and it's just stupid. You're playing right into the house's hands. That's what they want you to do. They want you to be scared money. They want you to be conservative, even if you're conservative in a somewhat aggressive way. The more picks you're making, playing conservatively, the more likely you're going to lose a lot of money. I mean, you need to be super aggressive in your betting style, because the winning 50% of your games or better is a tall order. And I think a lot of people discount just how difficult that is to do. I know that, we always get emails from people that want to be cappers and all these other things. And a lot of people I've even let become cappers on my site. And not all last, When you see guys that aren't there anymore, a lot of those guys, it's because they couldn't hack it.
Yeah, and also, too, I think what happens here is the way betting is marketed by the casinos and bookmakers. It's marketed as a recreation, whereas you have to really see it as a business.
Yeah, and you have to be aggressive. Like when you play blackjack, if you just sit there and bet the same amount over and over again at the casino, you're going to lose. The odds are stacked against you. You need to be aggressive and maximize your wins and minimize your losses. So you always have to be pressing with money on the hands that you win, not chasing on the hands that you lose. If you're chasing on the hands that you lose, well, eventually what happens is you hit the table max, and then you're out of luck. You hit your ATM max limit, you're out of luck. It's like that is a really bad strategy. But if you're just straight aggressive out of the gate, you know what your bankroll is going in, and it's like, you know what? I went for it and I lost. I'd way rather go for it and lose than play conservative and lose and figure, oh, this is an easy winner, minus 245, and lose. I'd way rather have plus 245 and lose if you're going to lose. And if you're going to win, I'd way rather win plus 245 and lose 245. And in a year in baseball where almost 43% of the underdogs have won outright in these baseball games this season, there's been no better year to just take every single dog on the board and start there. There's never been a better year to do it that I can possibly even remember. Big Al might come on here and say something different, that there's been a better year to do it. But I'll tell you what, almost 43% of the dogs have won this season in Major League Baseball. With a lot of these dogs, even you see in today's action, being big plus money. The dogs have won the day this season. And there's no reason not to continue to stay aggressive on the underdog path. We see the people in the YouTube comments, oh, it's fixed because the Braves lost. It's fixed because the Dodgers lost. The very best teams in baseball lose 60 times a year. Only two teams, really, like if two teams win 100 games, that's like an outlier season. Nowadays, sometimes like last year, you see 3 teams that win 100 games. But it's a rare day that you see that. The Atlanta Braves right now, we look at a team like the Atlanta Braves who have the best record in baseball. They're 81-44. So it's 123 in. That leaves that 39 games left to play for them. So in order to get to 100, they need to go 19-20. So one game under 500 to get it home. That's 100. It's not a lock.
No,
it's not even a lock to get there, right? It's right. Like this is the year of the dog, man. This is the year. So I think if you ever thought about being an underdog player, this was the year to do it. And I figured it out thankfully about a quarter of the way through the season when I was getting racked again. You know, and I was able to turn it around. I was down 2,400 units to start this baseball season.
Yep.
I'm now up.
I also wanted to mention here to one of our Bet Bash groups there, one of the bookmakers said something. I think that's not really mentioned a whole lot. He says, whenever you see, especially if they obviously talking the high limit games like NFL and whatnot, when you see limits rise, that means there's sharp action on both sides.
Yep. And what I also really talk to a lot of people about at Bet Bash as well is just because you're a sharp bettor doesn't mean you win.
Yeah.
You know, is what I found. Just because you're a big bettor, sharp bettor, all those things, betting syndicate, it doesn't mean you win. So basically the sharps, you know, to put things in perspective, sharp bettors move their money around all over the place. So on the total number of bets that they make over the course of a year, they're looking to make about 2% on all of those bets combined. Yeah. So, I mean, it's thousands of bets. It's a lot of action. They're not making, we only bet 3 games a day. That's not sharp bettors. They have a system. They're betting a lot of action, trying to get down as much as possible on the plays that they're making. But it's basically 2% overall on all of the total bets that you make. So it's like, it's not a high margin game. It is razor thin. And these are the very best bettors in the world are saying this.
Yep. All right, Mitch. As you know, college football is on the way. We'll just get you from one game here. It's a highlight game here. Navy and Notre Dame, first look here Saturday. We see Notre Dame sitting at 20.5. Of course, a good quarterback here. But the totals come down here. We've discussed this in the Bet Bash about the rolling clock here on first downs. So we've seen this total open 40.5. It was sitting at 50.5 in many places. We've just seen the sharpest book in the world here. They made a statement here, 48.5. We're seeing 50.5 at many books right now.
Yeah, I mean, the clock has changed. College football is going to be a faster game because of the things like stopping the clock on the incomplete passes and, you know, first downs and all that kind of stuff, things you don't see in the NFL. They have to have other ways of speeding it up. So they're going to speed it up, and the scoring is going to go down.
Yep, that's what it looks like there. Here, scoring down. We've seen that big move here to 48.5. Any thoughts here looking at week 1 here, college football? We just put this game up here. It is the highest profile game. I know I listened to Rich Rod on the radio today on some obscure, serious. Again, this is probably the only station that called him. Some obscure station of satellite spoke to Rich Rod, Jacksonville State and UTEP, and he went on record saying that his team is undersized to the offensive defensive line. UTEP had the best defense in all of Conference USA, and also that he's going to have to play two units on offense, 2 units on defense, saying that all his depths with the freshmen. But he's made this interesting statement. He goes, I have to play my freshmen, so I'm going to mix in two units on each side of the ball.
Well, I think at this point of the year, you know, he's a good coach, so he's going to do what he has to do. And I think that this year in college football, once again, like the NFL, we're going to see some new teams out there in Division I. It doesn't mean these are bad teams. A lot of these Division I teams, like we saw when Old Dominion came on board a couple years ago, they've played a lot of Division I schools. You know, these are all schools that have scheduled Division I schools for a while, so it's not going to be any stranger to any of them. I think that in this week 1
State
schedule,
did beat Florida State a couple years ago.
They definitely did. So Jacksonville State, like in college basketball, while we know the transfer portal is a lot these days about the small schools becoming almost farm systems for the big schools, what we've seen from schools like Jacksonville State is they've used to get guys from Kentucky, Arkansas, those type of guys that signed with those schools and never got to see the court. Because if you're a freshman, you sign with Kentucky, and you're not one of those elite freshmen that goes in that group, well, that group graduates. The next group comes in of Calipari, or doesn't graduate. They all leave for the NBA. The next group of Calipari superstars come in. So you're never going to see the court in any of those. And Jacksonville State is really good at getting those type of players. And that's why they've been somewhat effective throughout the years.
All right, there we go. With college football coming up this week, guys. So make sure you check it.
But UTEP, we saw last year, was very good. And,
defensively, best defense in Conference USA. They got a lot of defenders back. They got a lot of their defense back from last year. And, of course,
these Notre Dame games are very, very tight as a vice, you know, traditionally on the number. But we have to remember that Marcus Freeman last year, really not a great debut as a head coach in college football. So be interesting to see how he does in year 2.
Yeah, and of course with Navy, they're really quarterback driven. It really depends. And we talk about the running backs, but with Navy, it's really about that quarterback with that burst of speed. And it's a triple option. And if the quarterback doesn't want to run, it becomes a double option and easy to defend. So we got to see how this Navy quarterback plays here. Is he willing to take those big hits against these big defenders from Notre Dame?
Well, I'm interested to see what happens here with Brian Newberry at Navy. It's a new head coach, so we always think that Navy always has the same coach, but that's really not him. He's been the defensive coordinator at Navy for the last 4 years, and he moves now into the head coaching spot. And Navy's defense might be pretty good. Notre Dame's defense with Freeman is probably going to be more of a defensive team than the teams that we saw with Brian Kelly. So maybe that under is spot on.
There we go. Looks a big move here to the 48.5. That is the sharpest book in the world. Everybody else at 50.5. So very interesting move. Maybe one of those big syndicates.
Under all this.
Yeah, because that's interesting. All right, Mitch, why don't you let everybody know what's happened over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Can't even tell you how excited I am for everything that's going on at Pick Dogs these days. I think that, we're now just a few years in here at Pick Dogs. We've, of course, had Sports Chat for quite some time, but Pick Dogs has kind of taken on a life of its own, and it's probably, like I said the day that I started it, is that Pick Dogs would be the biggest thing that I've ever done in the online space. And, not to pat myself on the back all too hard here to knock myself over, but I've had a few successes in online as far as building sports betting websites. I've had 3 sites that have averaged over 1 million viewers a month or 1 million visitors a month, and that's no small feat when you're not a corporation. But the thing is that at Pick Dogs, we're heading into football season, and I think we're going to do what we always do. At least that's the plan for us, and that is we're going to just keep doing what we do. We don't gear it up for NFL season. We don't put all our eggs in one basket with the NFL. We're going to cover the NFL just as hard as we cover baseball. We're going to cover baseball as hard as we cover the NFL, and when NBA and college basketball, college football are going on, we're going to cover them with the same intensity and enthusiasm that we cover the NFL. Of course, we're going to do the halftime shows for the NFL. We're going to do NFL shows. We're going to do college football shows. We're also going to have some other shows, and we have a few new products in the pipeline, more along lines with the Dime Club, which will be having its first season with the NFL. So I think with Pick Dog. So I'm excited to do all of these things, and I'm excited that we have the best handicappers in the world. I think when you look at our roster of handicappers, we don't win every game. We don't claim to win every game, and we don't claim to win every single day. But at least we stand behind our data and show 100% of our records, transparent, good, bad, or sideways. And that's something, that we're willing to stand up. And I think honesty, when you're looking for a handicapper and handicapping, is step one of a very long process of finding that relationship with a handicapper that you trust, because there's money at stake here. And there's not just, we're not just protecting money. We're here to make money. So it's like, why waste that opportunity with someone who's not even willing to be honest about their record and show you their record transparently? We have guaranteed, credit guarantee on our premium daily packages. We don't have it on our long-term packages. The reason why, those packages are deeply discounted to begin with. But the daily packages, if you don't turn a profit, we don't want, you live to fight another day. And it's like, hopefully you don't have to, hopefully you don't, we hopefully you never get a credit, from us. Hopefully you just keep winning, but we know that it's realistic. It's part of the game. I had the White Sox today on the live show, but it could have easily gone the other way. I had the Brewers as my $15 big play, 5 winners in a row now on that thing. But man, that one could have gone the other way. I mean, just as easily, right? Yeah. It's like, this is sports. So the ball bounces both ways. We make sure that you guys are covered, and we always put you guys first. And I think what's happened here over the last 2 years or so at Pick Dogs is that we really have become tighter as a community from top to bottom, even though it seems to expand every single day. But it's like much more tight-knit community. It's like, 2 years ago, some guy would, some troll would come in the YouTube comments, and it would be like, people think that, guys would like join in thinking it's funny. Now it's like someone comes in and trolls our YouTube comments, 40 or 50 people come in and just like, get the hell out of here, man. It's not funny. We're not entertained. It's like, we're just here to win some money. And that's just shows you what we have. And I think watching some of the other sites out there crumble and fall to the wayside, they deserve everything they get.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
I'm not going to be specific.
Not transparent.
I'm
hiding the
legally
records.
not allowed to. I'm legally not allowed to mention.
You're right. All right, Mitch. It's always a great having you on the show. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you to all of our cappers that come here and lay it all out on the drive-thru. We're going to be adding a few more people to the drive-thru. We're going to be adding Eric from the Dime Club, and we're going to be adding Mike Saphir with his what's it called again? I don't know. It's like, I forget what the product is called, but he'll explain it to you. Anyways, thanks, everybody.
You got Mitch here on the drive-thru. Let's continue here on the show. Welcome in Big Al McMorty. Catch him over at Pick Dog Shrimp. Got some baseball coverage here from Big Al. We'll bring him in right now. Big Al, how's it going? Yeah, you're on mute there, Big Al.
Yeah, I'm on mute. Sorry about that, Tony. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. All right, here we go tonight. 8 Eastern time, Red Sox and Astros. This line's tightened up here. Astros about minus 106, total 8.5.
Yeah, Houston's bounced back off getting swept by the Mariners the previous 3-game series. They've won the first 2 versus Boston, both in blowout fashion, scores of 9-4 and 7-3. I do like the Red Sox, though, tonight with Chris Sale on the hill. This is going to be the Southpaw's 14th start of the season. And, yeah, he does have an elevated ERA of around 4.5, but he's still been a strikeout machine, Tony. This season, he's notched 81 punch-outs in 68 innings versus just 18 walks for a 4.5 to 1 strikeout to walk ratio. So I like that stat. He's also been solid against Houston in his career. He's made 13 starts versus the Stros, 3.06 ERA, and a 0.98 whip. And importantly, even though his ERA is not that great this year, the Red Sox have still won 9 of his last 13 starts. So I like Sale in this spot here. The Houston Astros, they're a very soft 18-19, but minus 6.5 net games off back-to-back wins. They're 11-16, minus 10.1 net games off a blowout win by 4 or more runs. I think it adds up to Houston Astro loss here. We're going to take Boston.
All right, Big Al here on Boston, minus 102 against the Astros. And to start for the Astros, you're quitting an ERA over 5 on the season.
Yeah, I mean, limited action for him.
Yeah.
I think he's actually going to pitch a good game tonight as well, but I just like the price on Sale.
All right, there we go here. Big Al here on the Red Sox, minus 102 against the Astros. This one will have a start time here of 8 p.m. Eastern time. All right, Big Al, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Premium for nice action. 7 on the board from Major League Baseball, but we know it's a big football weekend here with 7 from college football on Saturday. I don't think it'll be in action week 3 preseason. That's always the last one's.
I don't know. I
never know. Okay.
I've gotten off to a good start in the preseason. I'm going to take a look at it tonight. I'll let you know tomorrow if I'm going to have anything. I did want to follow up on something Mitch was talking about the dogs and all, but apply it more to the NFL. The last 3 years, the underdogs have done very well. There's no guarantee they're going to continue to do well, but here are the numbers in the NFL for the last 3 seasons. Last year, the underdogs were 147 and 123. The year before, 149 and 133. And the year before that, 150 and 119. I mean, that's 3 years in a row that the dogs have barked. I can go back and see what it was 4 years ago. I haven't looked at that. But, a lot of times these things reverse course, right?
Yeah.
They don't
something that's
forever,
been steady, I think, has been those divisional dogs.
I can look. Let me just see. If you give me a second here. But I was just going to say, a lot of people, the average guy out there likes to play favorites. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Pay attention to that and see if the dogs are coming in again this year. Let me just see something here. I want to see what it was real quick 4 years ago. The dogs were 137 and 120, profitable as well. I mean, so that's 4 years in a row. I mean, I can keep going back to see when the favorites were covering, but, food for thought. Let me just see. You want to know what the division dogs were?
Division dogs, yeah.
Hold on a second. This will just be a 4-year set. So the dogs are 563 and 495 overall within the division. If I can find it here. 214 and 173, 55%. So 1% higher in the division. Non-division 53%. Division games 55%.
Can you look home away?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Division. I'll just sort it by division. Road dogs much better. 134 and 100. Division road dogs are 134 and 100. Home dogs won't make you any money. They're 80 and 73 minus 0.3 net gains in the division. If you just take out the division and just fold non-division games in there, that lowers the away dog percentage. 55%. Let's see what home dogs are. 52.4. So the money's really being made on the road dogs.
Road dogs, yeah, road divisional dogs.
Road dogs and better division games.
There you go.
Yeah, division road dogs have been the best subset.
There you go, from Big Al McMorty. All right, Big Al, 7 on the board for Major League Baseball into a big football weekend here, college and pro. What do you have going over at the site?
Cashed yesterday, had the Blue Jays against the Orioles. I've got one baseball play today. I've also already released my first college football play of the season. It's my college football game of the month for August. We're 8-1 our last 9 college games of the month, so don't miss out. We'll look to kick off the season with a winner on Saturday. That's already posted. But the best deal of all, Tony, as we always talk about, is to join for a month or join for 12 months. When you join for 12 months, it's just 94 cents a play. It's a great bargain, and you can team me up with one of the champion handicappers here at Pick Dogs on the 2-for-1 handicapper special.
That's right, guys. You got to go to Big Al McMorty over at Pick Dogs. Great results in football. He's done great work in all sports combined. That 1 year pass, great time to get on board with all sports overlapping. College football, Major League Baseball. We got NFL. That's the time to do it right now. Use that promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. So get on board with Big Al McMorty over at Pick Dogs with that 1 year all sports pass. We always talk about this, Big Al. You've been documented for quite some time.
Yeah, 31 years.
31 years.
A long time. Ever since my first year in the business. I actually just looked. Now I'm going back 5 years. The underdogs were 140 and 118 5 years ago. That's crazy. 5 straight years that the underdogs have been a point spread machine. I mean, it's.
Interesting to note with that COVID,
person.
That COVID year without the home field advantage, the crowd in the South. I wonder how that wrinkle in there would be in that one COVID year, right? There was no fans in the stands, so.
Well, it didn't matter.
Didn't matter. That's right. 220. Yeah, the dogs still came in. It might have helped. Yeah, might have helped them without the crowd noise in that spot.
I'm just trying to find the last year that the favorites covered, because this is it's going to reverse course eventually.
Yeah,
it just doesn't,
at some point.
It just doesn't. So 6 years ago, I did something wrong here. Oh well. Anyway, I'll let you know. I'll let you know tomorrow.
Tune in tomorrow for more data from Big Al McMorty, actionable data from Big Al. Great information there. All right, Big Al, have a great night. We'll catch up again tomorrow.
Okay, thanks so much, Tony.
You got it. Big Al McMorty here on the Drive-Thru. All right, guys, if you missed a pick, we're going to recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on the Drive-Thru. Wayne Scott is up next, having a great baseball season over at Pick Dogs. We'll bring him in right now. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll get Wayne in right now. Wayne, what's happening? You're on mute there, Wayne. You must have been on the Angels, because the Reds made a big rally here, and you must have been kicking that dust several times. So we'll have to get back to Wayne here. Oh, here we go. We can hear you now. There we go. We can hear you now. All right, here we go.
Big Dog family. What's going on, Tony T?
It's going great. All right, here we go tonight. Braves and Mets going head to head. We see the Braves. Go ahead.
I ain't gonna let you slide real quick. 1 second, Tony. You must got a bird over there. You got a little piece of crap over there on the right side of you. What's that? I ain't never seen that before.
On the right side there?
Oh, that's the Dodgers. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
I'm an LA guy. But the Dodgers. I know that. I'm giving an LA theme. I'm going to try to mix it up here with a little bit more. But yeah, I got to cut the LA theme here. More from the childhood, not from the adulthood. So I just thought I'm going to talk to my childhood, and that's where I'm putting up these sports teams that were up there. No, the Rams up there, old school pennant from back in the day, blue and white. So made sure I kept the number this orderly there. But anyway, here we go tonight here with Braves and Mets going head to head. We see the Braves favorite here at -189. We see that total up to 10.
Yes, sir. Right now is a good time to rep the Dodgers. I'm just giving Tony a little hard time, but yeah, we're on the Mets and the Braves here, and I'm gonna look at the side on this one, and don't look too fast now. I'm not gonna say the Mets are just gonna make the playoffs, but hey, with the Phillies and the Marlins losing, the Mets 7-3 in their last 10, they're fighting a little bit. They're fighting and clawing. They're not all the way out of it. Atlanta on the other side, they're also running pretty high. They're 7-3 in their last 10. But like I said, I'm going to look at the over. These teams have met 10 times this year already. And the under over is 5-5 in their last 10. Katana on the mound, 2-3 to the over under his last 5, going over 2 times and under 3 times. When he faced off against Atlanta this year, they lost the game with him on the mound, but only 4 hits, 1 run in that game went under. He's a solid pitcher, man. Numbers: ERA of a 3, WHIP of a 1.2, and not only that, he's been playing a lot better. Charlie Morton on the other side, when this guy's at home, he plays well. 1-4 to the over under in his last 5, going over 1 time, under 4 times. When he faced off against the Mets, he gave up 3 hits and no runs, and that was August 12th, and they got the 7-0 win. He has a 3.0 ERA and a 1.0 WHIP, but in his last 3, he's been lights out with a 1.7 WHIP and a 0.8 WHIP and a 1.7 ERA. My bad. Charlie Morton has been in that mode, and he plays good at home. When we talk about the back end of these teams, talking about the bullpen, both of these bullpens have been solid. Mets get rocked here and there, but as of lately in this 7-3 streak they have, the Mets, their bullpen has been very solid, and Atlanta's bullpen has been solid all season. Atlanta's bullpen in the last 10 games is giving up a 1.9 ERA. That's amazing. Now we're going to step and talk about these bats. Mets, reason why their record is what it is right now, they've struggled to hit righties. We all know there's a lot of good right-handed pitchers. You can't hit a righty in the league, you're going to struggle to win games. But on the other side of that, Atlanta struggling to hit lefties as of recent. They smacked lefties on the season, but as of recent, last 10, only batting lefties 246. With all that being said, we got a total of 10, and I think we can stay under that 10 pretty easily in this one.
All right, we've got 10 is the number. You can find 10s, you can find 9.5. So very important to get the best numbers. Do your line shop. You can do that. Yeah, I'm with you here on this under. Matter of fact, Atlanta's under in 5 of 7. Again, it's been the bullpen that's been doing well. ERA with 2.67 over their past 10 games. That's a pretty good mark there. Quintana, don't look at the record. Look at the ERA and the fact that he's allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in 4 of his past 5. Again, he's been a victim of lack of run support.
Yes, sir. Quintana has been pitching pretty good, man. Like Tony just said, just hasn't had the backs to back it up to get him the wins. But if we're talking about pure pitching, both of these guys have been very solid on the season. And when we're talking about bats, normally we're talking about both of these teams' bats being hot. But in the scenario tonight, I can definitely see both of these teams struggling to get the runs. And like I said, watch out here, man. Mets kind of trying to creep up this radar in the least.
Still a lot of baseball left. We still have the entire month of September to go, and maybe a few days in October.
Yes, sir.
So there's still lots to go. I know another week here in August. So Braves Mets under a total of 10. This one will have a start time here, 7:20 Eastern time. All right, Wayne, let's take a look over at Pick Document for tonight's action. Of course, 7 games on the board for Major League Baseball. What do you have going on? We see the great numbers in baseball, 1,045 units of profit. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Unfortunately, you guys missed the card today. I had all early games. Should be 3-0. I had the Brewers were my player today. I was on the Cardinals spot pick. I just love the scenario. Damn, I was scared, risky, but that ended up being my easiest game. And I was on the under in this Padres Miami. So if that stayed under 8.5, I don't know. It was in the last inning right before I came up. If that stayed under 8.5, looks like 3-0 day.
Final. Yep, 3-0 day. Okay. Final 4-0.
All right. 3-0 day. We're moving on to tomorrow, man. Studying up this football. Still trying to decide if I'm gonna have a play for this weekend. When the sports come up, I like to watch some of the first weeks, and this is plenty enough baseball for me to just stay picking my spots in that and watch this college. But that doesn't mean I'm not gonna have a college. But I do not have one at this moment. Just still looking. Maybe on that preseason, but I definitely have some action tomorrow and look to stay hot, man.
That's right, guys. Get aboard Wayne Scott over at Pick Dog Stream. You see the great results in baseball. 1,045 units of profit is in the clubhouse for today with the 3-0 mark as that under comes in 4-0 final with that Padres Marlins game. So get on board with Wayne. Why don't you get on board with that 1 week all pass? Get all of Wayne's premium plays for 7 days. That covers all the football this week. From college football. He's in action in week 3 preseason. Remember, preseason starts again. Week 3 starts tomorrow with a couple games up on the board. And of course, it's not just all on Thursday and now because they're going to have a bye week. They kind of spread out week 3 this year, so they're not giving us 16 games anymore on that final week. So it's spread out. It's a lot of good action here. Get on board. Pick as a promo code. You'll save that 15% off. All right, Wayne, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that great success. We'll catch up with you again on tomorrow's show.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me, Tony T. It's always a pleasure to be on here on Wednesday with the veterans, hearing and listening to you guys, learning and soaking it in, man. So I just appreciate you guys for having me. Good luck on y'all bets tonight, and let's cash, Pick Dog family.
Indeed. Wayne Scott here on the drive-through. All right, let's continue on here on the show. Time to welcome in Rod Zawacki. Catch him over at Pick Dog Stream. Good to us here with those peripheral picks. We do have an WNBA, so we'll squeeze one out of Rod here in just a bit. We'll bring him in right now. I think we'll be set to roll here with Rod Zawacki. We'll get him here in just a second. Bring in Rod. Rod, what's happening?
No, not too much, Tony. Enjoying the Wednesday day baseball. Definitely enjoying the last of the summer here, too, before you know what starts to happen. So
I know. So a couple of months away from that.
I don't know about that.
We don't know. It might come soon. It might get some before Halloween.
We could. It's possible.
Well, this storm should be hitting you pretty soon, right? This storm should hit you pretty soon, right?
It should. Wind's picked up a little. It's still sunny out, though. So
okay,
maybe not. Maybe it's going to go red. I haven't looked at the radar direction it's going, but nothing horrible coming our way.
Nothing horrible. All right. Here we go here, Mets and Braves. Boy, Wayne's talking about Mets, boy, giving them a little bit of hope out there. Anything's possible. Mets and Braves going head-to-head. The Braves big favorites here, a total of 10.
Yeah, you look at this one, just as we talked about in the previous, as Wayne said. Quintana, he's been solid, pitching pretty well. But the problem is he just doesn't get any run support. He's a 1-4 with a 3 ERA, 1.26 whip, so pitching well. The problem is definitely not getting that run support from the Mets. And on the other side of the mountain, Charlie Morton getting the start here, and we've seen Charlie Morton. He's started off really hot. He hit that little slump there where he definitely was getting lit up, and now you look over his last 2 games, he's turned it back on. He's pitched 11 shutout innings over his last 2 starts, which has equated to a couple wins for the Braves. He's faced the Mets 3 times this year, 2-1 against the Mets this season. Easily won the last 2 meetings versus these Mets. As we said, it was like a 6-0 the last time out. And after these starters give way, we go to the bullpens, and the Braves with a little better bullpen, especially over the last 10, 1 sub-2 ERA are the Braves bullpen over the last 10 games, which is always a good sign. And you look at Charlie Morton, like I said, his last 3 just been pitching lights out, 2-0, 1.72 ERA. Charlie Morton at home, he could pitch another shutout here and shut down those Mets bats, who have struggled to score runs at times this season. So kind of like the under, first 5 is the better play. But for us, we're going to take the Braves, beat up on the Mets. I think it's another 6-0, 7-0, 8-0 type win. Braves win. No problem.
All right, we got Rod here on the Braves. Lay the 1.5, minus 102 here against the Mets. Of course, the Braves, a team here that they're going to have some of their downs, but sometimes they come back, they respond pretty well. Right now, they're just trying to hold off the Dodgers for home field throughout the playoffs, and I think that's going to be trying to be their motivation because they're pretty so clear here. I think we will be talking about clinching that division in a few weeks here with Atlanta. So the key here is just to try to find some motivation. And one thing is this: the Dodgers keep winning. It does keep them in arm's reach if for home field in that NLCS.
It does, and that's what you got to watch when these teams that are have locked in and they probably start resting guys and getting ready for the playoffs, gearing things up. But I think these Braves here, they still want wins, and they don't want to have to worry about looking over the shoulder for the Dodgers catching them late in this baseball season. So I think they get the motivation here. They get the win at home.
Especially those Dodgers. They don't like Freeman going over. I know a lot of the folks out there, the Braves, so I had to put that little Dodger patch up there. I knew they would be upset because a lot of the fans out there are not happy with Freeman leaving Atlanta. And, there's a lot of coverage around the South there for the Braves. I mean, they have a lot of the southern states on their side. There aren't a whole lot of baseball teams down in the South. So they pretty much have that marketplace to themselves. So Rod here on the Braves. But we're going to, of course, we always get that peripheral play here from Rod here on a Wednesday. Tomorrow, CFL back in action. But we do have that WNBA on CBS Sports Network. Mercury, look at the Sparks, huh? Mercury and the Sparks going head-to-head. Look at that money line, big one here. Sparks 11 here, total 154.5.
Yeah, we look at this one, and for good reason why the Sparks are where they are. They've been rolling right along. Winners of 4 straight. They've covered the last 8 straight games they've played. And the Mercury, they were winning a couple for us there. They've fallen off, but injuries have been a big issue there for the Mercury. Britt Griner out again. We're illness this Wednesday, so she won't be in this game. That's a big loss for the Mercury. Sparks at home, they play their best hoops. Been rolling right along. They're 8-0 ATS. Their last 8. You know what? I'm gonna go with the favorite. Stick with the theme here tonight. Go with the favorite. Lay that 11. I think they win by a bunch tonight against the Mercury, who are shorthanded. And the Mercury haven't fared so well coming into LA. 3-13 ATS. Their last 16 trips into LA. Take the Sparks.
There we go.
Heat it up.
The Sparks there to heat it up, but laying 11 here against the Mercury. This one have a start time 10 p.m. Eastern time, CBS Sports Network. Right? And, of course, Rod to refresh here on the Braves run line here against the Mets. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge for tonight's action. Of course, we got, 7 games will become, 5 games now as we get some of those 640 games going on here in Major League Baseball here. In just a second, looks like we got a few of those. So we're down to about 5 games here for Major League Baseball. Remember, game 2 of that Reds and Angels game to start. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge Premium?
And over at Pick Dodge Premium, 1-on-1 day. So definitely looking to hit this last one, which is my 10-star play of the day. Head on over to Pick Dodge Premium and see we've been hot this last week. So jump aboard that. That's going to be the winning play tonight. We make it our 3rd straight winning day. So jump aboard that $19 play, or join me for the week. Grab a week pass. You know what's coming out. We got college football. Definitely digging in and got at least 5 plays this weekend between the NFL and the college football. Loving this weekend's action. There's a few more baseball plays to throw in there as well. Definitely going to continue making some money this week. So jump aboard. Use that promo code PICK at checkout. And join me as we continue to top the books.
That's right, guys. Got a boy Rod's back over at Pick Dodge Premium. You see the great results here. Add that another 100 units of profit, 636 units of profit last 7 days. Rod's been on fire here the last 24 hours. So get on board with that play of the day or get that long-term pass. That's your best value over at Pick Dodge Premium. All right, Rod, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that great success. And we don't catch up with you tomorrow. It'll be on Steak Friday.
Yeah, but we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Take the Montreal Alouettes plus the points.
There you go.
Against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's at 8.5 right now, and I think that's just too many points. You look Winnipeg, their last couple games, they beat Edmonton by 9 points. The game before that, they beat Calgary by 1 point, and now they're expected to go against Montreal and beat them by 10. Nah, I don't think so. This Montreal team has turned things on and starting to play some great football. So take the Montreal Alouettes plus the points, and also hit that like button. Costs you nothing. Helps us on a ton. We appreciate it. All the Pick Dogs family that tunes in daily to all the content we got going. So much of it, too much for me to announce on all the new content coming. So like, subscribe. That way you get notified when all that content gets released. That way you get the best of number with all the cappers here at Pick Dogs Premium.
Absolutely. Of course, you can catch Rod also on the weekend shows, so make sure you tune in to the weekend shows indeed with Rod. A lot of college football will be on tap here, NFL preseason.
I can't wait.
Yeah, a lot of good games. We talked about what was on your radar last time, right? You're already looking at it, huh?
I'm already looking at it. I've already dived it over and over and over again, and I'm definitely not waffled. I just keep finding more. I was like, oh, look at that one. I started with only like 3, and then all of a sudden that list just keeps to grow. I was like, oh, I like that one too. Like that one. I'm like, get in the pile.
That's right. Get in the pile indeed.
Start out big. Let's go.
Let's get this one rolling here. Rod getting ready here as the college football season gets underway here. Any team that you're looking at national champions? Any future you're looking at?
Just the same one I said. I'm sticking with Michigan. I like Michigan to roll this season. I think they're even better than what they were last season.
Wow.
I just like what they've done. I think defensively they're going to be even better than what they were last season, which was solid defensive numbers for Michigan last season. That offense, I think is going to take some steps back. I don't think so.
They got a transfer quarterback over there, right? They got.
They did, yeah.
I have to look. I can. Let me. Yeah, there was. They did. I think there was significant quarterback over there. And that's what they do a lot. They work that transfer portal now. They don't really develop quarterbacks. It's always somebody else's quarterback. But it doesn't matter because the defense has been so good there. What do you take from that little suspension? I'll look at the numbers. I'll look that up. But what do you take from that suspension to Harbaugh?
The suspension. I see. You see it coming. He kind of did a little boo-boos, and he's going to take it. But 4 games. Those first 4 games, when I look at the season, I think they're all at home. So. Is he allowed in the building for it? No, probably not. But this day and age, they have headsets and everything, so he could probably still call the game from wherever he is secretly. So those 4 games, you can plan the game quite nicely from the sidelines and still be suspended and still those 4. There's only one of those that I think that have question marks for me. That I think they start the season easily 4-0 with Michigan, and then he comes roaring back and they continue to roll right along.
Yep.
It's late in the season schedule. They have there's those last, I think it's the last 4 weeks, last 5 weeks of the season. They've got a good grinded schedule that'll definitely answer all the questions of Michigan.
Looks like it'll be J.J. McCarthy should be in there. Looks like that's going to be their starter at quarterback this year. It was Cade McNamara last year here for this Michigan Wolverine team. A team here that will let's see what the experience numbers look here for them coming in with the Harbaugh coming into the upcoming year here. A little more than last year. 8 on offense, 7 on the defense. Come off a 13-1 year and an offense that put up 40 points a game last year. So they got the offense to do it. And of course, defensively held teams just 16 points a game. And that was with 4 returning starters on defense. Remember that all those players on defense they promoted to the NFL, still coming in with a great, solid defensive performance. So Rod Zawacki says, looking at the future from college football, will be Michigan to win the national championship. All right, Rod, it's always great having you on the show.
Hats in the mail. It'll probably replace it. Clemson could be a solid team. They've got the pieces for a solid team, but there's definitely some question marks at QB for Clemson this year. We're going to see how their QB does too.
Yeah, they sent that quarterback out to UCLA, I believe. Have transferred.
Yeah.
that still long name with an O. Mr. O is out.
Yeah, the long name with an O that everybody. They sent him away. We got to announce his name. Quick, we got to get him out of here.
That's right. I think the radio people, it's harder for the radio guys. They talk more.
Oh, it is definitely harder for the radio guys.
The radio crew is very happy to see that, by the way. All right, Rod, have a great night, and we'll catch up with you again on Steak Friday, if not sooner.
Definitely. Have a good one, Tony.
You got
Catch you on Friday.
You got it. Rod Zawacki here on the drive-thru. All right, guys, let's continue on here on the show. You missed a pick. We'll recap at the end of the show. Dana Lane up next. Catch him over at Pick Dodge Prim. We'll bring in Dana right now. I think we're set to go with Dana Lane. Dana, what's happening?
Hey, Tony. How you doing?
Everything's going great. All right, here we go tonight. Red Sox and Astros going to head-to-head at 8 Eastern with the Astros favored with -106. We see that total of 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5. Saw some 9s for a second, but we're going to go with the 8.5. Obviously, that's the or the 9 is. If you see 8.5, I mean, I liked it at 9, but we're not.
There's both. There's both.
Okay, yeah. I saw the 8.5s, and then I saw some 9s, and I didn't know if the 9s would become the consensus number. But anyway, we're not going to handicap games thinking we're going to win by half a run, so it's under no matter what. I do think that there was a point with the great teams in the league where you have to hit the reset button, and certainly after Houston got swept by the Seattle Mariners, a surprise. Not so much that Seattle won, but just kind of in the manner in which they did. It was really good to see them hit the we need a team meeting type thing, and that seemed to work out when Maldonado held the team meeting. And then they go into the series against Boston, and it's kind of business as usual once again. I mean, and that series against Seattle, they scored 9 runs in the 3 games, and they've already exceeded that in 2 games against the Boston Red Sox. So 16 runs in the first 2 games of this series. But the one thing that I like to do when we're betting totals is I kind of like to go through the lineup and see, okay, is the meat of the lineup producing overs, or are we getting some good balance in the lineup? And I think that if you look up not only with Houston, but with Boston as well, both teams have been providing some balance to the lineup, whether it's, in fact, the top of the lineup for both teams have not produced. So I expect that to change tonight. But I think that there was a point where you have to say, okay, if everybody is running on all cylinders, then I can really lean on these teams for decent offensive support if I'm betting the over. And then we get to the starting pitching, and I don't know about you, Tony, but I just have never, and maybe it was because of April and I realized he was hurt, I just have never been a guy that I, early in his career for sure, but recently I just can't lean on Chris Sale the way that I used to lean on Sale. And, for me, I think he's ripe for an implosion. I mean, this is a guy that I've seen, get lit up real early in games. And one of the indications for me that kind of causes for alarm is in his last outing, his fastball only averaged a little bit under 92 miles an hour. And it's never been a guy that's going to throw 98, 99, but that's 3 miles per hour off of what he's used to throwing. So when you go up against a team like Houston, who's a terrific fastball hitting team, that might be a problem tonight. So if you told me that Houston came out and scored 4 or 5 runs early, I wouldn't even bat an eye at that, because I would think that it's right for that to happen. So we're going to go under the total tonight. I think Alex Bregman, who is arguably the best fastball hitter in Major League Baseball, is going to have a huge night tonight. We're going to go under that total with Houston and Boston.
All right, you're sending over there, Dana. That's why the line graphic says over.
Did I send you over?
You send it over. Yeah, you send over. So you're going under in this one.
No, I'm sorry. No, I am going over the total. I'm sorry. Did I say under?
You said we're going. Yeah, you were talking about. Yeah, you're talking about because you're making a case for the over. Then you said I'm going under the total. It's over. Yeah, over the total.
I misspoke.
Yeah, it's over the total. Because you expect a lot of runs to be hit off for Sale to get let up early, and of course if that's the case, and you're looking at a Red Sox bullpen that has an ERA near 5 over their past 10 games, where they've been struggling, and of course Urquidy overall has had his numbers have been a little crooked as well this season. That short sample size of an ERA over 5. And of course you're looking at Houston's bats that have really woke up.
Yeah, and in Chris Sale's case, I mean, either one of these guys tonight are probably going to give you 5 innings. I mean, I think 5 innings is probably what you can expect. That's the best from them. I mean, you look at, Sale, he's pitched 9 innings total over his last 75 days. And as you mentioned, a pretty bad bullpen. Matter of fact, been bad of late, but really been bad all season. They're 16th in baseball in team ERA out of the bullpen. And in fact, you look at last night's game, if it wasn't for Jovera's throwing error that allowed him to allow 0 earned runs, where the pitcher actually helps himself out, I guess, with an error. This bullpen would have imploded again against Houston yesterday. So, and even with Urquidy, I mean, he's also a guy that's battled through injuries. He's only thrown, I think, just a little over 10 innings since coming off the IR. So you're really looking at 2 teams that are going to get into the bullpen tonight. And I just don't. I know Houston's bullpen is fantastic, but I think outside of that, the combination of Sale and Urquidy, who should give up some runs to get us close to that total, and certainly the Boston bullpen is not going to come in and shut Houston down. They haven't done that all year. So I think Houston is a team that looks renewed to me, Tony, and that's a good thing. And once in a while you can point to games or series where you kind of sit there and say, okay, we took it on the chin. This is not who we are. And I think Houston is off and running again. So I think that Seattle series is something that you can put in the rearview mirror.
All right, here we go. Dana, Red Sox, Astros over 8.5 runs. This one to start here, 8 p.m. Eastern time. All right, Dana, let's take a look over at Pick.com for tonight's action. Showing great results over the past 30 days, 522 units of profit. All documented over at Pick.com. You can verify those numbers simply going over to Dana's handicapper page. All right, Dana, 6 games on the board here from Major League Baseball. Head into a football weekend. What do you have going on over at Pick.com Premium?
Well, unfortunately, nothing left today. The Colorado-Tampa Bay game was my last game today, but we do have exhibition football up there, side and total on tomorrow's games. And tomorrow I'll start sprinkling in college football, just going through that Notre Dame game with a fine-tooth comb right now to make sure that that's where I want to be. Looking at San Diego State, Ohio as well. So those games should be up. We'll have at least 3 plays for this Saturday.
That's right, guys. Got on board Dana Lane over at Pick Dogs. Premium, so great results here the last 3 days. Get the long-term pass from Dana, or he also has some plays up there from exhibition football up there. It looks like Steelers, Falcons up there, Colts and Eagles in there as well. But again, maybe the long-term passes, that 1 month pass, great time to do that. We get all the baseball here for 30 days. We got college football, week 0, week 1, week 2, NFL, preseason week 3, NFL week 1 and 2. A lot of coverage here with this 1 month pass. This takes you into September 21st. So there's a lot of coverage here, especially with all the football and all the baseball. We're getting down to the wire here in baseball right before the postseason. So get on board with Dana Lane. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off at that second capper with that 2-point capper promotion, making it an even greater value there. All right, Dana, as always, great having your show. Continue that great success, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Thanks, Tony. All the best.
You as well. Dana Lane here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on the drive-thru. We're going to go to the recap, and then we'll get to my pick. You'll see my pick on the recap, and then I'll tell you why I like it. So let's go ahead and get the recap screen up for you right now. Let's see. We can bring it up here. Just a second here. Let's get the recap going. All right, Chris was on the Nationals, plus 134 against the Yankees. Orioles run line, lay the run and a half. The alternate run line, so lay the run and a half for the Orioles, plus 230 against the Blue Jays from Mitch. Big on McMorty, Red Sox, minus 102 against the Astros. Wayne was on Braves, Mets under 10. Rod liked the Braves run line, lay the run and a half, minus 102 against the Mets. Dana says Red Sox, Astros over 8.5. I'm going to be on the Reds, plus 146 in game number 2. Update on this one here is Reds up 8-4 here. There was a little rally here by the Angels bottom week, but they get out of it. So Reds up 8-4, batting with a runner on, no outs, top of the 9th. We'll take Reds in game 2, plus 146 against the Angels. Ones I like the most, let's go Nats here, plus that plus money against the Yankees. Severino has just been really bad. Even if the Yankees were hot, I would still look at the Nats with Severino on the hill. So that's the way I'll look at that one here. That one I like the most. So let's get you guys caught up here with some of the scores. We do have games in progress, games that have gone final. The one that went final, this had a long rain delay, but it finally got through here. Cardinals get the win 6-4, stop the bleeding momentarily, but they're way out of it. Pirates go down. This one goes over a total of 9. Cubs and Tigers. Tigers rally a little bit, but the Cubs win at 6-4. They got the Scooble. Mariners and White Sox. White Sox and extras get the win 5-4 to stop the streak in Mariners there. Mariners big favorite going down here. Even big numbers there on the run line if the White Sox get the job done. Twins and Brewers. Brewers and extras. I get 2 across here in the 10th. Win it 8-7 here against the Twins. Been a good series here for Milwaukee. They have the big guy Burns on the mound. Lots of scoring here in this one. Royals Athletics. Royals get the win. They get the good pitching here against Athletics. Remember, Athletics have had struggles in day games. The poor results in day games continue here. Royals, big favorites, but you needed some brass, you know what, to lay the 147 on the Royals in this one. But anyway, they come through 4-0 here against the Athletics. And, of course, Giants and Phillies underway here. Bottom 9th, Phillies trying to rally here. 2 on, no outs. Tying run at the plate here. A little nervousness here for Kapler coming out to the mound here. We may have a pitching change here as the Phillies are threatening here. It's 5-2 Giants, but tying run coming to the plate right now with no outs. Kapler to the mound here, making a mound visit. So we'll see what happens here. So some drama here in Philadelphia. Seeing if there's an interpreter that's up there right now interpreting. I guess it must be the language there with the pitcher here and the manager coming to the mound here. But anyway, some drama in Philadelphia right now as they bring the tying run to the plate. No outs here in this one. Bottom 9th, Giants and the Phillies, and of course Reds and Dodgers game. I've been tracking here. 8-4. Angels were up 3-1 early in this game. But again, Ohtani got hurt. I don't want to say hurt. Arm fatigue. I mentioned this to someone at the Bet Bash. I was telling them I really was concerned about Ohtani coming off his last start. He did not look right. And, of course, he missed his last start, comes out after the I think I talked to Loshak that day. We're having a conversation here about Ohtani. And I told him he didn't look good to me for some reason. And of course, he missed his turn and he only pitches 2 innings here. But, yeah, if you looked at that, that's the 3 starts ago or 2 starts ago, did not, even though he had put up good numbers, he did not look really fluid on the mound, and something did not look right with him. And of course, we've seen some of those issues here missing the start and then only pitching, getting into the second inning, coming out the second inning here in this one. All right, Duvall still on the mound here. They didn't take him out, so we've got the big man on the plate here, Harper, representing the tying run here in a 5-2 lead for San Francisco. No outs in this one. So you got a TV handy, put it on this game because it is a little bit of drama filled here. All right, let's continue on here on these games. Padres get the win 4-0. Hey, they finally beat a pitcher that can strike you out. They finally got out, but it was really tough because Alcantara pitched well. Padres 4-0. Marlins could not get any runs across, and that game goes to the Padres. Rockies and Rays, bottom of the second, no score in this one. Total was an 8 in this game. Big favorites here, Rays minus 264. Gomber on the hill. We'll see if he can pull it up. Another upset here for him. If he can pull some money, dog money for Gomber. See if he can do it again. 2-1 count now with Harper on the hill. So it's a hitter's count. Duvall versus Harper here. No outs. Harper tying run. The big 2-1 pitch coming up here. They call this the hitter's pitch. So he should get something good to hit in this spot here. We'll see what Harper does here. And here comes the 2-1 across the plate. Inside goes to 3-1. So we could walk him, and we could look at a walk here. Duvall did not like that. He looks, two inside. Nationals and Yankees top of the hour. All right, that's going to do it here on the drive-thru, guys. Make sure you guys tune in again tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring in our cappers from Pig Dogs and Sports Chat Place. And we got a home run off the pole. A home run off the pole. We are tied. Home run, Harper, 3-1 pitch. Too fat. Harper hits the foul pole. It is a home run. The Phillies have tied the game at 5-5. Duvall got behind. He got behind. Kapler not liking it. This is really, Giants is really strong. Harper crosses the plate now. 5-5 tie, 3-run homer. You can kind of sense badness here for San Francisco. Then when you saw that 2-1 pitch miss inside, you worried even deeply here. Righty versus the lefty. Harper gets around, pulls it, hits the foul pole. Home run, 5-5 tie, bottom of the ninth in drama-filled Philadelphia. No outs, so the Phillies still can walk it off here. No outs with momentum here. We'll see how this one runs here. Just too fat over the plate. You're 3 when you get behind 3-1. And Harper just sat on a fastball, made contact, lined it, hit the foul pole, and I believe it hit the foul pole. Yep, not mistaken. They're showing the replay. Yep, hit the little foul net there. Hit the foul net for the home run. So there you go with a big home run. All right, that's going to do it for this edition here of the Drive-Thru, guys. Be sure to tune in again tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll do it all over again. Bringing our cappers here from Pig Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Look up their plays for you in the primetime hour here for us. And don't forget, it always gets started with that morning show live here at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. We got Mitch, we got Chris, we got Jay with that morning show. And of course, a lot of the video series here. Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. The betting tool shows, his roundtable discussions with the professionals. We also have Chris Ruffolo with his home run prop videos. Also, Ron Romali with his rundown for Major League Baseball. Jay with his NFL preseason rundown for you as we get preseason football again here for week 3 tomorrow. We also have Mike David's live shows Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Also his first 5 videos, parlay videos as well. Mills with his prop videos and his UFC rundown. Of course, we got Brad Francis with his parlay video as well. So just lots of content here, just tons and tons, guys. So make sure you like, subscribe, and set those notifications. And that's the way to roll here. All right, that's going to do it here on the Drive-Thru. I'd like to thank everybody here for joining us here on the show. And of course, we did say the Reds, and that's why I like the Reds. I should tell you why I like the Reds in this one. And again, it's kind of going against Detmers here, and really, it's been a struggle here for these Angels batters over the course of the past 7 to 10 games. It looks like we're going to see a lot of bullpen here for the Reds. We may see Kennedy in here. We may see. I think they brought up this kid from the minors. Had a tough first outing, but Lyon Richards had put up some really good numbers in the minors. Was roughed up in his last outing, but again, it looks like it may just be bullpen by committee here. We could see, as I said, looks like we're going to see Brett Kennedy, 3 games, ERA 3, whip of 1. And of course, Detmer's ERA near 5 on the season. Detmer, over his past 3 starts, allowed 14 earned runs, 9 walks. That's the kicker there. 9 walks. He's been walled around the strike zone. In 13 2/3 innings, he is 6-14, working on 5 to 6 days of rest with a -9 unit loss. The Reds do hit and put up runs against left-handed starters. Angels bullpen passed 10 games, an ERA of 7.52. The bullpen gave up a lot in this game. They blew a 3-1. Matter of fact, they went to the bullpen, right, when they took out Ohtani, and then boom, 8 runs across the plate. So the bullpen continues to shatter here for this Angels team. Again, we saw them. The game to the doubleheader. I don't care that that the Reds won the first game. I really don't. So there. That will roll here. That's why I like the Reds here in game 2 of that doubleheader. All right, that's going to do it here for this edition here of the drive-through. So we got everything covered, guys. We went a little longer. We had some games in progress, some drama here in Philadelphia, and we wanted to make sure we got you all the plays with a little bit more analysis here. And of course, we got preseason football on the menu tomorrow with some Major League Baseball, and maybe get some college football picks. We'll see what the menu looks like here for Thursday. But you guys make sure you guys tune in again tomorrow. They go to Junis. Junis, once an opener, now I guess today they're using him here late in the game here. So Junis on the mound, no outs, 2-2 count here to Castellanos, as the Phillies have tied the game at 5-5 with a 3-run homer by Harper. So the Phillies looking for a closeout. Looks like Castellanos is on base with a base hit, so they got the runner on here. So momentum continues here for the Phillies, looking to close it out, or looking to walk it off here. Bottom ninth, 5-5, runner on first, no outs. That's going to do it here for the show. Let's go ahead and bring in our crew from tonight. I'll bring in our cappers from tonight's show. We're going to say goodbye, guys. You guys have a great afternoon.